Alright, how's it going, guys? My name is Sovann, and today I'll be presenting the topic of the rising role of AI in cybersecurity, which is, a very popular subject that's going on right now. And so the topic today will be include a brief history of AI and AI in cybersecurity as well. And we'll also be talking about AI cyber attacks. We'll talk about things like what kind of attacks are used and how are they used, and then I'll even show you a pen testing demo using AI. And then we're also going to be talking about AI defense, AI defense models, how they're used, what they're used for, how they work, stuff like that. And then we'll also talk about how, if AI could completely replace jobs in cybersecurity, which is also another popular topic. And then we'll also be talking about, the future of AI in cybersecurity. That's going to be like the little conclusion and what that's going to look like. All right, so let's just talk about a brief history of AI. So, the concept of AI was brought up by a person named Alan Turing, and that was around the 1950s. Back then, AI wasn't really, it was more focused on reasoning rather than, using it for security. But, obviously, as the internet started growing and getting more popular, there were lots and lots of cyber threats. Threats like email phishing, worms, viruses, and many more were spreading fast as the internet grew. During this time, researchers also started to experiment with machine learning algorithms such as, decision trees, for example, and, in order to distinguish between malicious or normal network traffic. And machine learning kept growing with the need for data-driven detection. There were supervised learning models such as SVMS and random forests that were applied to malware classification and spam filtering. Things like big data and cloud computing also were very important because it made large-scale security analytics possible. This led to deep learning, which was good for detection accuracy for malware and phishing. And then this also led to AI SOC tools such as Darktrace. And basically, what Darktrace is it's a tool that uses self-learning AI to detect and respond to cyber threats with automation. And then, coming on to more recent times, AI has become extremely popular within all fields. Not just cybersecurity is very popular. Software engineering, even some finance roles, stuff like that. And massive platforms such as CrowdStrike Falcon and Microsoft Sentinel, they also use AI for real-time detection and automated responses. Generative AI, has also been widely used for defense and also offense, unfortunately. But we'll get to that soon. Another thing to think about with the rise of AI is guidelines, right? As AI is a new thing, so you have to have new guidelines for it. In 2023, NIST released an AI risk management framework that provides guidelines for AI use in cybersecurity. So I thought that was an important thing to talk about. So now we'll get into the more interesting stuff. This slide will discuss AI-powered cyber attacks. There are many different kinds of AI attacks that are used by threat actors. One of the most popular ones is AI augmented social engineering. And this is stuff like using fake videos, fake voices, in order to impersonate people. And how it's done is basically attackers, they use voice cloning tools in order to impersonate people, such as, customers, support people like IT, and even higher ranking members of a company. And, obviously they do this to try to trick people, thinking that they're talking with somebody important when they're just talking with like a scammer. And then they end up just scamming them and then getting access to things that they shouldn't have access to. And then automated phishing is the next widely used method in AI attacks. It's when attackers use LLMs to generate things like phishing emails, social media posts, and we learned a little bit about that. This unfortunately this reduces the work needed to be done by attackers because it's automated, right? So it just takes that workload off of them, so they can attack a lot more people. And another attack is AI generated malware. So AI could actually help with the creation of malware. This happens when somebody falls for like a phishing email, for example, and then once access is gained by the attacker, they would deploy a payload that functions as a worm, and this would start a multi-stage attack. Threat actors use LLMs to help them write the malicious code, right? They're not writing all this by themselves. They're getting help from the LLM. And then this is more used to attack supply chains rather than individual people, but you know still is an attack, right? And then another type of attack is adversarial machine learning, and this actually targets other AI defender models. So it's like an AI versus AI thing, and it's used to evade defenses, right? This is a model that um, misclassifies malware. It's used to dodge that malware detecting devices. And then they would also use data poisoning, which is injecting bad data onto training pipelines so that the AI defender model doesn't behave correctly. And then the next type of attack is prompt injection. This is when attackers use inputs that cause an LLM to do things like leak sensitive information, produce malicious code, or even follow instructions that are made to harm. And this is a very large attack. I think we also learned about this, and it's a popular attack that happens a lot. And these attacks are obviously they're dangerous because AI could definitely increase how many victims an attacker can target because most of it is automated. They don't really need to do that much manual work anymore. And these AI models are also getting good at evasion so that they could reduce getting detected by certain defenses. And then I guess we could talk about how you can help strengthen your defenses. One thing you could do is have multi-factor authentication. Obviously, that could help strengthen your defenses. And then another thing is to monitor your machine learning systems. You should monitor them to see if they're working correctly because they could have been attacked by data injection, like we were talking about, and then that might not make it work as well. And now I'm gonna show you guys a quick little demo of me using an AI called Penlegend AI to do pen testing on a virtual machine. All right, what's up, guys? I'm gonna show you guys my demo now on AI pen testing. So I'm doing this all on two virtual machines. I got one running the Windows 10 operating system, and then or this is gonna be the target, the Windows 10 one, and then I have the attacker system, which is gonna be running on Kali Linux. And the AI I'm using is called Paladin AI, and this is what it looks like. It's the dashboard right here. And if it goes rough, that's my bad. It's my first time trying this AI pen testing or pen testing in general. But yeah, just let's just get it started, I guess. So first thing you'll want to do is just click new task and then let's just name it like Windows 10 pen or just test, attack test. Just create the task, and then you see this little prompt right here. This is where you're gonna like say something, and let's say I have a host that I want to hack. The IP address is, and then the Windows, the other Windows is going to be, I think the IP is 10.0.2.4, and then just enter it, and then let's see what happens. You can see my prompt on the right here. Then let's see what the AI does. All right, so you can see on the what the AI says right here. It has a target analysis, and it basically gives you a strategy for what it's gonna do. Right? It's gonna do host verification, port discovery, service enumeration, and a vulnerability assessment. And then it gives you all these uh, recommended executions that you could do. So let's just go ahead and run all these and see what it does. And then you can see on the sorry, you see on the right side right here, as you execute it, you can see exactly what's going on or exactly what it's doing on the right. So that's pretty cool to see. So I wonder if I could get rid of this. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, and then yeah, let's just see what it does. All right, and it's gonna tell you the findings. All right, so let's see. So it's confirming the Windows system. Oh, my bad. Scroll up real quick. See, it's indicating that it's a Windows-based system, which is true. All right, let's see what it says. Confirmed attack surface, Windows system, VirtualBox, virtual machine. Yep, that's all correct. That is the IP address right there. It has a port that's critical, and it shows you the high priority security concerns. Port 445 has a threat vector, risk level high, and then yeah, it just tells you all these risks, different ports, stuff like that. Shows you what kind of system it is, and let's see. And it also gives you some testing strategies. And yeah, let's just run it, see what this does. Oh, see, we got some failed tests over here. The other ones are working though. Okay, severity high risk. It's probably because I actually on the Windows system I disabled all the firewalls. Let's see. See the attack vectors here, and it just gives you a bunch of information, different impacts, and yeah, it really just shows you everything. Obviously, I wouldn't do this for real, but it's just an interesting thing to learn. And next phase is deep exploitation. Yeah, let's try that too. Let's see what that does. Oh, there's also an option here to export the penetration test report as well, so that's pretty cool. And these commands here, obviously I personally don't know, what they do, right? I've never done pen testing before, but if you're a pen tester, then I'm pretty sure you would know what these do. And I think it's pretty important to know what these do. Like I said during the slides, using AI is very useful, right? But you should at least know what it does, So if you're a pen tester, you should know what these do. All right, it says new risks have been handled or confirmed. Okay, let's see what updated findings we have. It says some stuff have worked out. You can see this here, and then there's other risks though. Medium severity, host name leaked. Oh, it also gives you attacking scenarios too. That's pretty cool. Next phase, credential-based testing and service discovery. Sure, let's go ahead and run that too. See what it does. Test for common default credentials, discover additional services, and check for web services. Yep, let's go ahead and try that. Okay. Well, I used up all my free stuff, so I am using the free version. There's paid versions too, but I guess this is all I could do for now. But yeah, that's my demo on pest testing using AI. As you can see, I just did a little prompt and then literally clicked one button and then it did my pen testing for me. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the demo. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that demo. We'll get on to the next topic, which is AI defense. So defensive AI is similar to attacking AI, but at, in the sense that it uses machine learning, deep learning, behavior analytics, and automation. The only difference is obviously instead of attacking, is used to detect, predict, and respond to cyber threats in real time. So anomaly and behavior analytics is basically when machine learning models learn normal patterns of things like users, application behavior, stuff like that. And obviously this is important because so they can identify abnormal patterns. And real-time threat detection is when AI analyzes a large amount of data instantly to identify patterns that indicates that there are threats and immediately triggers an automated response. That's you can see how that's very useful. And then automated responses are, obviously it's exactly what it means, right? As soon as it detects a threat, it triggers a response right away in order to alert us so that there's a less delay in defending against an attack. Adaptation is another important thing for AI models, as they evolve with threats that happen. They learn more, and this could lead to faster detection of attacks. And yeah, you know, but even with all this upside, there's still a lot of stuff to consider as well. All right, so let's talk about some of the pros and cons of AI and cybersecurity. The obvious pros are, we get faster detection and response time so that we could effectively deal with these attacks, in like a timely manner. And then automation is another huge pro, because it takes a lot of workload from a person, right? And then we're gonna talk about that a little more while talking about AI and how it could replace jobs. But some cons are that you need to continuously train your AI models, because AI is also used for attacking, right? So that's gonna be growing rapidly as well. So you also need to keep training your AI models so that it can keep up with the people training their models to attack. And then another thing to consider is that AI models are also often attacked by other models using data injection. So because of that, you gotta continuously monitor and train your models. AI models also require high quality data in order to work effectively. That's if garbage in, garbage out, right? And then another thing is you should not obviously over rely on AI automation. That could lead to an increased risk of false positives and negatives. All right, now we're going to talk about can AI replace roles in cybersecurity? It's a extremely popular subject. You hear this everywhere. It's not just cybersecurity. You hear it in software engineering, finance roles, other tech roles. But yeah, AI is very useful, but it's not gonna completely take over somebody's job, or at least for right now. There's a lot of work to do with AI. It's not gonna completely replace your job yet. For example, let's take SOC analysts. A SOC analyst monitors, detects, and investigates, and it also responds to. They also respond to security incidents. And AI can do most of those things too, right? But there's obviously a big difference. Those tasks involve heavy contextual reasoning and judgment, and those are some of the areas where AI is still struggling, right? It hasn't really grasped that yet. But we can also talk about how AI and humans can collaborate, right? A lot of fields already use AI as a tool, in order to boost efficiency and lessen the workload a bit. Um, for example, like I said earlier about automation, AI will do most of that labor for SOC analysts. And this is why AI is being used as like a tier zero analyst, so to speak. It does all the repetitive work while giving humans more time to have deeper investigations. But all in all, in my opinion, AI cannot fully replace humans yet, because they need to learn contextual understanding. They need to have creativity, good communication and judgment, and those are all more of a human thing. So what could we expect for the future of AI and cybersecurity? Um, in the future, obviously, there's going to be an increased role of AI in autonomous defense and threat hunting. But there's going to also be an increase in autonomous attacks as well, right? There's always going to be a lot more people using AI to try to attack. There's going to be quite a bit of AI versus AI battles. As AI keeps growing, they're going to be targeting each other. And then lastly, the collaboration between humans and AI, like I said, is already growing at a rapid pace across all fields, right? Everybody's using AI as a tool. But yeah, to wrap things up, um, AI is definitely going to keep on growing. I guess we just have to see what the future has in store. And these are some of the sources I use for pretty much my whole project. It's a lot of good information on these websites. If you guys want to learn about some more stuff in AI cybersecurity. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed our presentation and have a good day.